Well, what I learned from this law of cause and effect was this. Thoughts are causes, and conditions, the conditions of your life, are the effects. Thoughts are causes, and conditions are effects. Your thinking creates your life. Now, this is the greatest thought in history. This is the great thought of all the religions and all philosophy and all psychology and all success, is that your thoughts create your life. That you can actually change your life by changing the thoughts that you think. Because your life always goes in the direction of your thinking. So here is the great rule for success. It is that you become what you think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. So the question is, what do you think about most of the time? What do you think about most of the time? By the way, this law is true, but it's not 100% true, because if it was 100% true, then every young man would turn into a young woman by the age of 20. So, the question is, what do you think about most of the time? Well, in the last 25 years, big companies have spent many millions of dollars searching for the answer to this question. Several companies, some years ago, put together a pool of more than $20 million. And what they wanted to do was discover what top salespeople think about most of the time. Top business people, top entrepreneurs. Because if they were going to hire salespeople or business people, they wanted to have a profile that would help them make better hiring decisions. So they interviewed more than 350,000 people like you. And they would interview them every week for 6 weeks or 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And once each week they would phone them up and they would say, what are you thinking about right now? And the person would say, well, I'm thinking about this, and they would write it down. 1 week later they would call and say, what are you thinking about right now? They would do this every week for many months. And gradually they began to see a profile. And they then took this group of people and they sliced them up into 10%. The bottom 10%, the next 10%, and finally the top 10%. And you are in the top 10%. So they looked at the way people in the top 10% think most of the time. And can you guess what the top people, the happiest, highest paid, most successful people think about most of the time? Can you guess?